I can't give you what you want, if that's alright. So if you stay with me tonight, I apologize. Yeah. And if you're wanting something real, you gotta know just how I feel. Oh, and that's why. That's why. Why I tell you why I got love to share, but none to spare right now. Without a little heartache. How can you know good until you know better? If you're looking for love, get ready to get hurt. You can't win them all, and to rise you gotta fall. So I went down to Salinas to find work and to clear my head. Got a job at a hired hand when the harvest time came near. But the dirt went dust and the crops dried out.
How are you doing, Nicki Bluhm?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. A true pleasure and honor to have you on. I mean, we have many mutual friends here in Nashville, Nicki, and every time your name is mentioned, people's face just lights up. It's like the best. It doesn't matter where you are or who you're with. I mean, and we celebrate, of course, your whole career. The shared visual album and The Beat Goes On, and now your new solo album, Avondale Drive, out June 3rd, which is so damn good, by the way.
Thank
So
you.
damn good. And as someone divorced myself, it just like in the best way, in the best freaking way. I loved it.
Well, good. That's the whole goal is connection.
That's
So
the point. Absolutely, Nicki. By the way, what do you have going on? What does Nicki Bluhm got going on a typical mid-April Monday? You know, what's your day like?
Mid-April Monday. Well, I've actually just recently committed to a 30-day yoga morning practice.
Okay.
So trying to start the day off with some yoga and meditation. It's kind of cold here today. It's like spring
Yes.
in Nashville. There's so many psych outs. So it's like summer's coming. No, we're back in winter.
Mm-hmm.
Summer's coming. So if it warms up a little bit, I'll probably take the dog for a walk and yeah, just kind of see where the day takes me.
Right on, Nicki. And you know, the last time we saw you, Nicki, you were in the Basement East Weird Al Yankovic tribute show, and you were dressed up like in a medical outfit, you know, singing like, you know, I forgot what song, like a surgeon.
Like a surgeon.
Yeah,
It was like a surgeon, which
like
is why I was wearing, the lab coat.
Oh my God. So stop before we get to the new songs and all that, Nicki, like this, like goofy stuff like this creatively, you know, it must be so fun once in a while to just kind of do something like with no stakes, right?
Yeah, it really is. And it's fun too when anything like that happens in Nashville because you get a chance to connect with people in a way that's just kind of fun and light and musical, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one thing I'm amazed about you, Nicki. I mean, many things, but I mean, I don't know of many prolific artists who have such great creative career who are able to tap into other people's catalogs like with such empathy and like precision. And I'll give you an example. Like, obviously, you did the share thing, and the Grateful Dead. I mean, you played with Bob Weir and all that stuff. How do you do it, Nicki? I mean, like, how as an artist, how do you tap into like that empathy creatively so well? I think you do it better than almost anyone.
Oh, that's really kind. I mean, I've always been a pretty sensitive person. In fact, like growing up with two older brothers, I was often teased for being overly sensitive.
Mm,
So I think I just as a person have a lot of empathy. I
yeah,
feel a lot. Um and I try to see that as a superpower instead of a weakness, which is kind of what I was raised to think was that the goal was to like buck up and, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And I think there's a place and time for that. But I also think that being sensitive and having empathy can can serve you. And especially in music, or art, I think that that is a superpower because you're able to, feel your own emotions, and then also, consider what it might be like to be in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah.
And an artist like Cher or, the Grateful Dead, it's like those songs mean a lot to me and they've been a part of my life, and so I've had my own experiences with them. So when I'm singing those songs, I'm sort of coming at it from my my own perspective as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why your music, it just hits, yeah, it hits like so like real because you come from that place. And by the way, I forgot to ask you, like, a couple of years ago you had that, that tumor scare. How are you doing? Are you healthy now?
Yeah, thank you. I am. That was
Okay.
crazy. Yes, I had a tumor removed in Nashville the night of the tornado, which was
Jesus.
kind of a crazy situation. But knock on wood, my health is good at this point in time. Thank you for checking in. It's very kind.
Absolutely, absolutely, Nikki. And Nikki, we've been here in East Nashville. I've been here in the Gulch. I'm sorry, in Nashville, a couple years, and I'm always curious. And I think you're the perfect person to ask this. I feel like there's something special going on here. And you're obviously from Cow Hollow in California, and you're a student really of the Deadhead scene and Jefferson Airplane in Seacliff and all that stuff. So like, am I way off base when I think, Nikki, that like creatively for the creatives here, it's like kind of like a golden era in East Nashville? Am I way off base here?
I mean, I don't know. I've only been here for 5 years.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm probably, I can only give my perspective, and which is relatively new. I know that, I think East Nashville in particular has been kind of like bubbling for a long time with creativity and artists long before I got here. So I can only speak to the last 5 years of being here, but I know when I first started to come 6 years ago before I moved here, I came to co-write and to write with people. My management had set me up, and I didn't even really know that that was a thing that people did, like in a scheduled way.
Right.
And I was really inspired by that and kind of by the functionality and like proficiency and organized way in which people were writing. And so I don't think that there's anything new to Nashville in that way, but I
Mhm.
do think maybe there's been more of an influx of people here, and that's creating sort of this stir of energy,
Yeah.
and turnover and change. So, I certainly feel really lucky to be here and to be accepted into, the folds of Nashville, because it is such an established place and has been for so long for music and creativity. Um, but it feels like an exciting time, especially as we have spring approaching, which I think is the best season here. It's just like the reason I moved here was because I first arrived in spring, and it was like the birds were chirping and
Right.
cherry blossoms were blooming, and I mean it's a really beautiful place too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it definitely feels like a very special place and a special time.
Right on. Well said, Nikki. So as we transition to the new album here, I mean, divorce albums, man. I mean, first of all, what is it about divorce albums, Nikki? Because I don't know about you, but after my divorce, like albums like Avondale Drive just hit different. And of course, like even Starcross from Kacey Musgraves or Tunnel of Love from Bruce Springsteen, like
Mm.
those albums, just like they just hit. They like it's almost like you gotta go through a divorce in a way to really like speak that language. Am I like is this crazy? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't associate Avondale Drive with my divorce
Okay.
nearly as much as my last record. That was like
Yeah.
the divorce record of sort of, you know, major songs in process and much more raw. Like
Right.
there was still a lot of raw edged feelings in my last record, To Rise You Gotta Fall. And Avondale Drive to me feels like it's still processing, but it's certainly more it's softer, it's
Yeah.
more playful. I think there's more humor in it. And there's
Like
a
yeah,
different
like wheels
perspective,
rolling. Yeah, like wheels rolling. It's just like super
you know.
playful. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. So, I think that, for me, writing songs is process, and it is kind of like unteasing and unpacking these experiences that I've had and trying to put language to my feelings so that I can kind of move on, you know.
Yeah.
But certainly there's, Into Her Eyes You Gotta Fall, which I consider really my divorce record. There was a lot more unprocessed raw feelings. And
Mm,
here it's like a song like Juniper Wood Smoke,
mm.
or The Leaving Me Is the Loving Thing to Do.
Yeah.
It's like I
So
can come
beautiful.
from that place of hurt and kind of see it with more compassion. I've processed it more. I've gone to therapy. I can kind of take like credit for my own part in that conflict, and it's a different place, coming at it from a different place, a more processed place, a more compassionate place, a less reactive place.
Totally.
I think
Totally.
is more the vibe of Avondale Drive.
Yeah. Yeah. And Loving Me is the right thing to do. By the way, Nikki, we were just last week, our mutual friend Maggie Rose was performing at the Opry, Loretta
Oh,
Lynn's 90th birthday. And it just like got me there. Like it just has like a Loretta Lynn vibe to it. It's just so beautiful. But
mhm.
anyway, I
Thank
digress. Sweet Surrender. Gotta tell you about Sweet Surrender. Oh my God, Nicki Bluhm.
you.
Like what a song. Like the lyrics in this song, every line is like like my chills have chills. Every morning you get to begin again, and then the whole thing. Only in a dark sky can you find the darkest star, like the shiniest stars.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. A song like this, Nikki. Like, first of all, are you like you are aware of how good it is, right?
Oh, I mean, I think
I know it's
every
a weird question,
I
but like,
think every writer is like, "Ooh, that could have been better,"
oh
or,
God.
you know. But no, I mean, for me, that song was really just, you know, something I needed to write and get on paper, because I mean, I remember it was like summer of 2020, and I was just really feeling idle, and I had a lot of ruminating thoughts, and I couldn't really like do anything or be proactive or productive just because of the state of the world and the way that music was at the time. And I felt really like I didn't have control. And I wrote that song to really like address my own feelings in that moment of like, there's nothing you can do. You need to chill out. You need to accept things the way they are. And you need to get off the hamster wheel of your ruminating mind. So,
Yeah.
a song like that was like one of those necessary, uh, you know, exercises I had to do at that point in time to kind of talk myself off my own ledge. That
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Absolutely. No, makes total sense. And thank you for your time. And, I know you got a lot going on. Let me ask you about Feel, and I'll let you get on with your day, Nikki, because I mean, love that funk, first of all, in that song. I mean, you make emotional pain kind of danceable and fun, if you will. But all kidding aside, when these crappy emotions that we all have and you share them in your music, like when your state goes into like a dark gray place, how do you change your state, Nikki? Because it seems like in this album you snap out of it. Like you go there and you show us that you're there, but you snap back out into a positive state. How do you do that in your life, Nikki?
I mean, going back to the beginning of our conversation, yoga, meditation, walks with the dog, like
Yeah.
there's so many ways for me to like touch back down to earth. Um, because the one of the best things about getting older is like you do have more perspective in life, and that nothing's going to last forever. I mean, that's really what Feel was a product of. It was like feeling really bad during the time that I was writing it, and just trusting and knowing that everything's temporary.
Mm,
Like nothing lasts, nothing sticks. And as you get older, you understand the patterns of yourself more, and you understand that like, okay, I don't feel great right now. I know this isn't going to last forever. I know the tools that I have in my toolbox to help me get out of this, whether it's meditation or yoga or walking, calling a friend. you know there are things that I know work for me: music, writing, and that's kind of what helps me move along. So yeah, and it doesn't, hurt that Carl Denson added his great melodic horn playing, and
right.
Yeah, it is. It did turn out to be a fun song.
I love it. I love it, Nikki. Well, you've said it all for today. I mean, what an album. Comes out June 3rd, and we can't wait to see it live. I think we're going to cross paths in a few festivals. We're covering Bristol, one of them. But all kidding aside, yeah, all kidding aside, what a fantastic album. Congratulations, Nikki. I think it's your career highlight thus far, personally, my little 2 cents. And we look forward to crossing paths with you. Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you
Nikki.
so much. Yes, anytime. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.